I thought that I would kind of tell you guys a little bit about my boyfriend. So we've been together for a little over a year. So we met in August of 2023, which is crazy. And you guys, after I got out of my long-term relationship, actually I broke off an engagement with that person. I'm sure a lot of you guys remember him. He was not great. That's another story that probably will never ever make it out of the group chat. I was on the dating apps. And when you have been out of the dating game for so long, you're very naive. So I kind of went into it like, oh, this is going to be great. You know, I can get myself out there, whatever. When I tell you guys, it was like bottom barrel, like the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst. And I'm naturally like an empathetic person. So a lot of red flags that people see, I just see it as, you know, I'm a social worker, right? So it's like I see it and I'm like, oh, you know, they can work through that. Or I didn't really see them for who they really were. But when I tell you it was awful, my experience was so bad. And on the very last day, I said, I am never getting on these dating apps ever again. His name is Scott. He reached out to me. And I really didn't give him like the time of day. I was just kind of like, whatever, small talk. It was mind you, it was my very last day on the apps ever. I was like, I'm never doing this again. And he was very, very adamant about wanting to take me out. Very intentional in the conversation, because a red flag to me is if you can't hold a conversation, it's never going to work. So I'm not going to waste your time and vice versa. So he was able to hold conversation. The first thing, he like showed me a picture of his cat. So if that doesn't tell you what type of guy he is, I don't know what would. But we went on our first date that Friday. We ended up going to Brewburger, and oh my gosh, it was like the best first date ever. And I told him, I was like, you look better in person than what your pictures do justice. And so I just didn't have any expectation going into it. I just thought like, this is my last date and then we're done with it. I'm never going to get on the app again. And the rest is history. So we spent that evening together. And then we ended up going to a movie that Sunday. What's the movie? It Ends With Us. We ended up seeing that on Sunday. I think that Saturday we went and got ice cream, and it just has evolved from there. So when I tell you guys, like, he is one in a million. It's true what they say. Like, I'm sure you guys have heard like soft girl era. I mean, it's so true, and I'm never leaving. I'm never leaving. And I also didn't think that I would ever date outside of my race. It's nothing that I've ever dabbled with before. And so with my last relationship and my previous, I kind of went for a certain type, and I was like, you know what? This has not worked for me. Let me open up my dating pool. And so that's what I did. And it was the best decision that I could have made. Scott is kind. He's sweet. He's thoughtful. I'm very independent. My parents raised us girls to be very independent. So I was just at a point where if you can't add to my life, then we have nothing to talk about. I'm not going to waste your time. You're not going to waste mine. Because I think people overlook the fact that singleness is such a gift. When I tell you, I had the best year of my life when I was single after leaving that relationship. It was like all of these burdens that I had been feeling, the anxiety, the stress were immediately alleviated, and I really got to know myself on a deeper level. And it was just such a great year, and it was so necessary. So going into my relationship with Scott, I just knew it was the right time. And it took me a while to really just know that this is who he is. He's not putting on a front. He's not putting on a facade. Like, he is true to who he is. So he was just consistent in how he treated me. He was consistent in communication. Like the little things that us girls always love, like opening the door, random flowers, picking us up, you know, having us walk on the inside of the sidewalk, things like that. So he's just, I mean, he's like my dream man in every way, just gentle and kind and loving. And so I truly think that he is the one. And he's 38, I'm 34. You know, we're kind of at that point where, you know, I think we're just ready to settle down. So yeah, he just really calmed my nervous system, and he does, and he adds so much to my life, and he's just like the greatest person ever. So, that's really all I'm going to say. He just came along when it was very, very unexpected, very unplanned. I was just, you know, having the time of my life, learning about myself, spending time with myself, and figuring out what I wanted, what I didn't want, and all of that. So it was just it's been a beautiful journey so far. Now, don't get me wrong, our relationship is not perfect. I hate when I see couples or people on social media who make their relationship seem like there's no flaws, they've never had any issues. No, because we're people, right? And we're two very different people. But the way that we work through conflict, the way that we communicate, all of those things is just everything that you could ever want in a man. And so I love this man. And you guys have seen little peeks of him on my social media page, and maybe one day I'll have him here on YouTube. But there really are good guys out there. When you least expect it, they will come around. But I definitely wanted to share that. Princess treatment is real, y'all. I'm never leaving this soft girl era. I'm never leaving here, ever. But yeah, so if you are out there dating, don't give up. Shout out to Hinge. I always say when we get married, like, we're gonna invite Hinge Cringe is what I called it. We're gonna invite him to the wedding. But yeah, and when we think to the future, when we get married, I've never really envisioned myself having like a huge wedding, an extravagant wedding. I've always just loved the intimacy of something very small, and I'm older. You know, I've never dreamed of like this massive wedding and spending all this money. I would rather have small ceremony. We go somewhere for like 2 weeks and then we come back and have like a big party with family and friends. So nothing extravagant, nothing that you go into debt for, but just like the perfect dream wedding for the two of us. So stay tuned. Again, I think you guys would absolutely love him. He's very genuine, and maybe I can get him on here one day, but I thought that I would just share that big update in my life. So don't be afraid to step out and date, number one. Don't be afraid to open up your dating preferences, number two. And three, lean into the process. It took me a while to feel safe with him, even though he was always safe with me. So that's all I have for today for y'all. I will see you in the next video.